Hello everyone, welcome to Project Drops, and today we're going to be talking about the Project DPro story. So we will explore a little bit how PMD Pro and my PMD Pro was created, the Project Management for Developed Professionals Guide and Certification. So let's go back to 2007. Lingos, nowadays is known as Momentum, was invited by several different organizations to create a best practices guide for project management, specifically for our context, to the development and humanitarian context, to be created to be used by INGOs and community-based organizations. 2 years later, a pilot phase was started in Johannesburg and Zambia, and with partnership with APMG, a certification was created. So not only the guide, but also certification was created, and the pilot that has happened in Africa. 1 year later, PMD Pro is officially launched with the certification, and 1 year after that, PM4NGOs was created. So the story of PM4NGOs is pretty much very close to the PMD Pro story. PM4NGOs was created to host and take care of the PMD Pro, to make it available for INGOs, community-based organizations, trainers, and most specifically, to the professionals who are managing projects in the communities. So in 2015, we had already reached 10,000 certified professionals in 150 countries. The guide was available in 8 languages, although the certification was available only in 3 or 4 languages, but the guide was available in 8 languages. That was a huge accomplishment in just 5 years to have that amount of certified professionals and make it that so accessible for project managers. In that same year, in 2015, PM4NGOs started to create a better structure for operations and for developing and improving the PMD Pro guide. So we start working more close to the partners, to the NGOs, to trainers, and to professionals. In 2016, we then created the trainers community, and that was really important because we started to collect all the feedback that trainers and practitioners were sending to us. So we started to understand what was working, what was not working on PMD Pro, what could be improved. And one of the key feedback we received was that before updating or reviewing the PMD Pro guide, there was a need for a higher level management best practice, which is the program level. So in 2017, the Program DPro guide was launched. Working with all those professionals in all those organizations, we created the Program DPro guide in 2017. And then we started to review the PMD Pro guide in 2018. 1 year later, now that we have had the program guide, it made sense to us to review the PMD Pro, the Project DPro, to improve it. In 2019, we decided to also get more close to the practitioners, that's not only the trainers, but the practitioners too. So we created the DPro Plus platform that had both trainers and practitioners providing feedback in the direct contact with PM4NGOs. In 2020, then we had the PMD Pro second edition launched, and then we rebranded for Project DPro. Now that we have Program DPro, Project DPro, and other DPros will be coming on the next year. So we rebranded for Project DPro. We will always remember and we will always refer to the guide as PMD Pro, especially because it has been created and it has been spread across the globe as PMD Pro. So we always use both names, Project DPro and PMD Pro, as a second name as a reference. 1 year later, then we had, next year, we had DPro's new exam system. So once that we have now the Project DPro reviewed, we decided to improve our exam system to make it a little bit more friendly and to better connect also with the candidates for the certification and the certified professionals. And then we get to 2022. So in 2022, we are now getting all the DPro family members together. So we have the Project DPro, it's the PMD Pro second edition. We have the Finance DPro, the Meal DPro, the Program DPro, all the starters that are websites that you can find tools and videos and templates to use. The DPro Plus, so everything now is being hosted by PM4NGOs. All DPro family members are hosted by PM4NGOs and available for the community of practitioners and also for the teams of project managers and NGOs, local communities, and so on. Project DPro was developed by the sector, for the sector, is owned by the sector. On the development of Project DPro and other methodologies like Finance DPro, Mil DPro, we had so many organizations involved. We have Lingos, Mango, inside NGOs, let me see, Catholic Relief Services, Mercy Corps, Humantum, World Vision, Humanitarian Leadership Academy, Bond, PATH, Save the Children, all the PM4NGOs part. It's not fair to me to, I will forget some of the organizations. So if you would like to see all the organizations that have been involved in each one of the guides, you can visit our website. And in the guide download page, you will see in the bottom who has been involved in developing those guides. But in general, all partners of PM4NGOs have been contributing either for developing those guides or, for example, for the translation or providing feedback on the exams. PMD Pro is appropriate. So it's a common language. It's a contextualized for our sector. It creates a common language across the organization, between project managers and teams, between organizations. And it has an appropriated, contextualized framework for our sector. In a previous project drops, we talked about the best methodology that should be used by your project. There is no better or worse methodology. Project DPro is more contextualized and specific for development sector. You might need to use tools from other methodologies, but if you're working on humanitarian or development sector, Project DPro might be your option for a standard or the foundation of managing your projects. Project DPro is also accessible. So now we have 6 core languages, 6 official languages in PM4NGOs. We have Arabic, Chinese, French, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. But the guide is also available in other languages. We just published the Bahasa Indonesia guide, and the exam is going to be available soon. So we are working with partners to make it available in other languages as well. And one of the most important statistics that we have is that 75% of all certified professionals are in developing countries. So it means that the community of practitioners and project managers that we wanted to reach is actually being able to access Project DPro, to access and pass the certification. Project DPro is also affordable. So the guides and everything that we share at PM4NGO's website is available for free. So guides, videos, materials are always available for free for anyone who is visiting the website. We want the guide, the methodology, the best practice of Project DPro and all other DPros to be accessible and that everyone can download and use it. The certification is also designed in a way that it's affordable. So it starts with $22 for the certification on community-based organizations. So we want the certification to be accessible for the ones who are in the community. And sometimes when you think about $22, it might not be a high value for someone based in the US, for example, but when you get the exchange rate, that might become a little bit expensive for some countries. So that's why we design our certification to be affordable. And it is focused on community-based organizations and professionals. It doesn't mean that we don't want to work with international NGOs, especially because international NGOs implement their projects through local partners. So we work close to international NGOs as well, training partners, companies, and foundations. Before we wrap up our project drops, I would like to answer one question that I can see here. Is the PMD Pro an adaptation of other methodology? Well, not specifically from other methodology. Most of the methodology, best practices that we see around, they have been developed based on an experience and other tools that are available. So Project DPro is not specifically an adaptation of one methodology. There is a combination of several different techniques, principles. So you will see principles that comes from Prince2 that resemble the Prince2 principles. You will see tools that are available, for example, on the PMBOK, and that are available in so many other methodologies, like the work breakdown structure, for example, or you look at the Gantt chart. So Project DPro is not adapted from one specific methodology. There is a really strong component on Project DPro, which is the experience from organizations, from nonprofit organizations. So all the tools and all the principles and disciplines and techniques that are used by those organizations that helped PM4NGOs to write and improve the guide are present in Project DPro. So it is a combination. It is not just an adaptation of one methodology. And we we are continuing improving the guide from the feedback we receive from the ones who are using that in the field. All right, so I would like to wrap up our Project DPro, our project drops today. And if you would like to see some statistics, how many certified professionals, you can visit the PM4NGOs website. And if you would like to download the guide absolutely for free, and also check out the other DPro Family guides and certifications, visit our website. Thank you so much for attending our project drops, and we'll see you again next week.